Hi everybody, it's Dr. T. I'm going to talk about the Oura Ring and the Whoop device and a couple of other devices specifically for how they can track your sleep. Hi everybody, it's time to do a review. I felt like reviewing a couple of sleep tracking gadgets or devices that I use. I track my sleep very carefully because I have some sleep issues, and I think you could go to a sleep clinic and your insurance company or you would have to pay a ton of money for one night of sleep when actually you can track your own sleep for night after night and get a better idea of what's going on. So there's a lot of devices out there. I'm only going to talk about a few. The two that I've used the most lately are the Whoop device, which is a strap that detects your heart rate and your sleep. It's used for fitness and for sleep, but I'm just going to talk about the sleep part this time. I will use another video to talk about the benefits of using it for fitness and everything else. And the Oura Ring, which is right here, kind of a clumsy ring, but it also really advertises itself as a sleep tracker and a way to maximize your sleep. So what I wanted to know is, are these even accurate? Are they just selling me a bill of goods? Are they telling me information I need to know? And what can I use out of that? So what I did was I decided to compare these two devices with two other devices I already had. I will talk about all these other devices in other videos. One of them is one I quite love, which is the Fora oxygen meter. It does not really track sleep, but when you put it on during your sleep, like this, it will tell you what your oxygen is doing during your sleep and what your heart rate does during your sleep. I've been doing it enough that I can actually tell when I'm in REM sleep and when I'm in slow wave sleep just by the heart rate pattern I see on the screen when I get my report every morning. So while it tracks oxygen, it does give me a really good idea within a few minutes of what type of sleep I've had. So I just wanted to compare that one, even though it's not really for sleep. And the other one is the Muse S device. This is been out there for a long time for meditation. It actually works pretty good for meditation, and I'll talk about that in another video. But it just recently got a sleep tracking app. So I wanted to know, is it accurate? Of course, I talked to the people at the company, and they said, of course it's accurate. But I didn't really believe them, so I wanted to test it out myself. What you do here is put this headband on, and you have some electrodes underneath here and by your ear. Get your hair out of the way and moisten them with gel or water. And it literally tracks using your EEG readings that it picks up through your skull, your REM sleep, your slow wave sleep. Tells you if you're lying on your left side, your right side, your stomach, your back. Tells you how still you were during your sleep, your heart rate, what that did during your sleep, and it gives you a score. Actually, the Muse, the Whoop, and the Oura all give you some kind of a score that tells you a little bit about how your sleep was. So I put them all on, all at the same time. Kind of felt like a cyborg. And then I woke up and I gathered all the data, and I'll show that to you in a graph. What I wanted to know is, will it tell me the same number of minutes of sleep depending on which device I use? Will it tell me the same number of minutes of REM sleep, the same number of minutes of slow wave sleep? All of that information, the same heart rate. And will it tell me roughly the same times, because they give graphs. The graph can tell you when you went into what kind of sleep. And so I just really want to know. So this is what I got. The Muse device should be accurate because it's doing your brain waves. I don't know, it seems to make sense. It said I slept for 329 minutes, which is 5 hours and 29 minutes. That was by far the longest of any of the other devices. The Whoop device was short by about 45 minutes, and the Oura device was short by about 30 minutes. So I'm not sure where that all went awry. So I went to REM sleep. This is where really things seem to go really haywire. Now the Muse device gives you a really nice picture that shows you I'm in REM sleep, I'm in slow wave sleep, and I'm in light sleep. It doesn't give you any actual numbers. It says 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and you have to guess whether it's like 10:45 or 10:35. So I kind of had to guess, but it was the best I could do. I've talked to the Muse people. I told them numbers would be nice, but they haven't gotten back to me. Anyway, it said I slept 100 minutes in REM sleep. So that's a little over an hour and a half. About 28% of my sleep. That's actually pretty close to what you'd expect. And I spent 75 minutes in slow wave sleep, which is about 23%. Again, that's about average for me. The Whoop device actually made one error in that I woke up about 10 minutes before I actually got up. And I started thinking about getting up and thinking about my night and my day. And I didn't really get up, but I wasn't sleeping or dreaming. But it said I was dreaming. And actually, the Oura device said the same thing. So I had to subtract a few minutes for this obvious error on both of their parts. But if I subtracted that out, it said 99 minutes. So it was only really a minute off from the Muse device. So that's not bad. It said 68 minutes opposed to 75 minutes. Again, since the Muse device isn't completely accurate, that's pretty close. That's in the slow wave sleep. Heart rate said it was 69 on average in the Muse device, 68 on average in the Whoop device, and 67 on average in the Oura device. So pretty close. Okay, REM sleep. This is where the Oura device really fell short. While the Muse and the Whoop device were within a minute of each other, the Oura ring said I only was in REM sleep for 40 minutes. And it yelled at me. It said you weren't in REM sleep long enough. It didn't really tell me what I was supposed to do about it, but it said I wasn't in long enough. It was less than half of what the others said I was in REM sleep. And then I used the Fora device. Again, it doesn't say you're in REM sleep, but you can tell the difference by looking at your heart rate pattern of when you're in kind of a flatter, slow wave sleep and a more active REM sleep. And it said 95 minutes. So again, really within the ballpark of the other three, but the Oura ring just fell short. So I'm going to talk about, so the Oura ring, I don't know, something just doesn't seem right. It did the same thing the night before, so I'm really not sure what's going on there. Okay, so there's a couple of things about the Whoop and the Oura ring that I think are different and explain why I like the Whoop device better than the Oura ring. When you use the Whoop device and you wake up in the morning, it asks you to answer a series of questions. And there's about 20 questions or more, but you get to pick and choose which ones you would like to answer. And they ask you the same questions every day. Things like, did you get enough to drink? How many glasses of water did you drink? Did you use meditation? Did you eat a paleo diet? Did you use marijuana? There's just a wide range of different things that people sometimes use to help them sleep or think help them sleep. And what happens is at the end of the month, and I think they do it every 3 months as well, they give you a report, kind of an extensive report that talks about each of those things, and it tells you whether or not something helped or didn't help and what percentage. So it might say, yeah, you took a sleeping pill, and whenever you did, you slept 20 minutes longer and your recovery was 15% better. So you could look at that and say, okay, I'm going to keep that. It might say also that if you ate too close to bedtime, you slept more poorly and your recovery was more poorly. So you would know not to do that. So it really gives you tools that you can use to modify your sleep in ways that you can be successful in having better sleep in the future. As far as I know, the Oura ring does have tags you can add, but I don't think they have the same kind of computer calculations that they provide you to tell you precisely what things make the most difference and by what percent they make a difference. So I don't know. I think the Whoop device is less fluffy. It gives you real accurate scientific data. And at least for sleep, it seems to be better in terms of saying what your sleep was like than the Oura ring. And again, it's more expensive, but I think it's worth it. So in other videos, I'm going to talk about the fitness aspects of some of these devices, the meditation aspects of the Muse headband, and the different things that you can use to really track your health. Because if you go to the doctor's office and they check your blood pressure and your pulse, it's on one day and you're usually nervous, and it's just really not a good way of really seeing on a day-to-day basis what's happening. And these devices can help. And even if you're not an athlete, you'd be surprised the kinds of things you can discover just by having these devices handy and learning how to use them properly. So we'll talk about them in another video. But for now, hopefully you have an idea of what kind of sleep tracking device you'd like to use. There are others like under the bed devices that I don't know much about because I don't sleep in a bed. But at least for these, I think you have an idea of which one you might want to try. Okay, bye. So check out these products if you're interested. Give them a try and see if they help. Bye.